I'm Eli, and I make games. So for this week's episode of Feedback Friday, the fourth one, woo! We are covering a game. I say we, it's just me, but I am covering a game. It's called Thraft. Thraft. Very easy to say, apparently. So we're gonna start with critiques, and we'll go to the praises. So my first critique is I don't know. I just didn't understand fishing. Nothing was really shown that told you, ooh, this is not working. That's not how you're supposed to do it. It's not giving you an audio cue of, oh, this is what's not working. It didn't show really any movement, or at least I didn't see anything. Maybe there's something right now on screen that's being shown that clearly shows it, but when I was playing the game and I paid attention to that one, I didn't see anything. And then my fish died, and that's why I lost the game. And I didn't really understand it, which ties into the next two. There's no tutorial. Nothing on the itch page says, "Oh, this is how you do it." It just says, 1, 2, 3. Those are your controls, and play the game. Um, and in the game, it doesn't show anything. Still, it still doesn't. Um, and then also my other critique is that nothing was really told to the player, but some of it still wasn't shown. And that ties with the fishing. Like, if I couldn't understand one of the core mechanics of the game, that means nothing was told to me that said this is how it works. But nothing was shown enough. And by shown, I mean both audibly by like a sound effect or visually by like an actual effect or an animation or anything like that. And maybe there was, but it clearly was not um loud enough effectively. It wasn't jarring enough for me to go, oh wait, this is how it works. Instead, it was, if there is any at all, it's subtle. And subtlety is great in games, but in this situation, when you want your player to understand one of your three main core mechanics, that's just not gonna pass very well. Um, and then like also like the other two, I did understand. It actually said, "Hey, you need to get to this area," and like the boat, like moving the raft. And it showed, "Hey, this is how you get the mosquitoes." You know, that's how you do it. And I understood those two, but the fishing one, I just didn't like. It's hard to grasp, when I didn't notice anything that made my brain go, "Oh yeah, that's how it works." But that was the critique section. Now we are going to move on to praises. So my first praise is that the graphics were beautiful. Like, they really are amazing. The color palette's very nice. At first I went, "Ooh, this is kind of jarring," but like when you look at it, like they blend really well together and they just work. And having that like um PS1 N64 type graphic style where it's like 3D but it's very pixely, it just looks really nice. And a lot of people, like, you could try doing it, but it's that era of games looked very ugly. I'm not gonna lie. I love the graphics then, but they are truthfully ugly. So making that and making it pretty and beautiful can be really hard. And so the fact that you guys were able to pull that off is it shows you went to art school and this was a project for that. Um, it was an interesting concept having like that three interface gameplay. Challenge the brain of your focus points. You might just want to focus on one, but that means the other two you might die from there. So you gotta always be switching around, and it's a very interesting concept. A little stressful, but I like you don't understand the stress of it until one of your things dies, and then you're like, oh wait, I, I gotta do stuff. So very interesting concept, having the three different interfaces that you have to go through, challenge your brain, and make you think. And then also the controls are really simple. you pulled off a 3-button game and you didn't even have to have directional movement, which I mean that's pretty amazing. The only other games I can think of possibly having such simple controls are clicker games or idle games. But the things with those are literally just clicking through interfaces effectively. This is like an actual game where it's like, okay, here, you press this button, this happens. You press this happens. You press this happens. Now you coordinate those, and then you can make all these things happen, like a traditional control scheme. But instead, it's very simple. Most games, at the very least, need like 4 keys, and that's from you movement. If you don't need that, then you need your mouse, and that's to click on stuff. And the fact that you can do that, like this very simple control scheme without having to do either of those alternatives that typically are used, that's pretty nice. I did think 1, 2, 3. I mean, it gets the point across. First interface, second, and third. Um, at first I was a little confused because I thought, well, those are very, they make sense in that context, but they felt weird at first because I'm at the top of the keyboard instead of around the middle area like you usually use in gameplay. Because usually you're either at like the middle with WASDEQ type area, and then you pull your pinky down for Control Shift, or you have your thumb on space, or you've got at the very bottom where you've got arrow keys, space, and whatever other buttons like ZXC, um, or for all I know VBN, which I did for a game. That was the number one complaint of that. So you know, um, yeah. So that was this week's Feedback Friday. Thraft. Feedback Friday number 4. As always, all the games for these reviews, are in a itch.io collection, and that link's in the description if I did it right. Hopefully, please. um, and yeah, so I'm just saying here, okay? Just saying. If you like. If you don't, and subscribe. Peace.